If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you about it. It's free, which is amazing. And there are these really cool creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts. And you get to make money with no minimum listenership, which is really cool. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right away. Yoga teachers, mindfulness leaders, and energy workers, are you ready to stop side hustling and start making an income doing what you love? Welcome to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we'll dive into conversations with successful creatives in wellness, business, marketing, and more to uncover practical methods to take you from A to B and have some fun along the way. My name is Jessica Cross, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Let's dive in. Welcome back. It's Jessica, and this is Marketing Off the Mat. I'm so glad that you're here today. And I am going to talk about something that is super important to me and something that I admittedly have not always practiced. And I think that it is something that maybe many of us deal with in the yoga industry, especially, but maybe just in life in general. And today we're talking about creating an abundance mindset. So when I say abundance mindset, it's, of course, abundance, when we think abundance, we may say abundance equals cash. and of course, I think that's part of it, right? We have an abundance of resources. But I want to talk about specifically how there is an abundance of work. There is an abundance of students. There's an abundance of clients that we have out in the world that we can help with our practices, that we can share our mindfulness practices, or perhaps we can share our other healing practices like Reiki and sound, maybe even through tarot and those types of services, massage. There are so many people. There's just so many people out there, y'all. Did you know that at the time that I'm recording this, there are 7.7 billion people. And yes, if you are a early 2000s kid and you remember, I'm putting my pinky in my mouth as I'm saying 1 billion or 7.7 billion. Thanks, Michael Myers. But just think about that. 7.7 billion people in the world. You don't need 7.7 billion clients. I know that I don't. My goodness, how could we serve that many people? And of course, many of those are ruled out by location, resources, etc. But you only need a teeny sliver of those people to become your clients to make a good living. Yeah, have you ever thought about that? There are not enough teachers, there are not enough healers on this planet to help that 7.7 or even half of that. There is just not enough of us. So when you flip that on its head, we have plenty. We have more than enough opportunity to work. There's more than enough opportunity for you to share your message and get paid to do it. So we talk a lot about seva and selfless service in yoga. And of course, that can definitely have a place in your business. But remember, for my folks that are offering freebies or $6 classes, you know who you are. For my folks that are out there, you have these really, really big hearts, and I can feel that from you when I see these offerings. But remember too, in order to have an abundance of energy, this abundance mindset that we're trying to build, an abundance of energy within our hearts, within our ability to serve, you have to get paid. I know that's scary sometimes to accept money in exchange for the thing that you're putting out there that maybe just under the surface that you're not super comfortable with, even if you've been teaching for 15 years, y'all. I haven't been teaching that long, but I have been a marketer for that long, and I have been teaching for 6 years. So there are times, and actually, I'll just be really honest, half the time when I walk into a room to teach a class, I'm nervous. I'm always nervous, actually. I don't even know why I said half the time. I'm going to be super honest with you here. I'm always nervous at the front of the room. And if you've been in my class or you've taken my Zoom offerings or on Insight Timer, maybe you don't know that. but just know that my palms are sweaty. I'm sweating. Anytime I'm at the front of the room, anytime that I'm on Instagram going live, I'm nervous. So I know that you are too, most likely nervous. And sometimes we let that get the best of us when it comes to putting our offers out there, when it comes to serving our tiny sliver of these 7.7 billion people. We need you to stay in the game. I need you to keep showing up. And you can only do that if you're getting paid. It's been more than the commonality, more than a common story for the yoga teacher, the average yoga teacher that's out there, to show up so excited from their teacher training, ready to take on as many classes as possible, or start just teaching for free. And of course, I feel like there's value when you're just getting started. You're, turning the water clear. It runs a little muddy as we first turn it on, and then it starts getting much clearer. So I see the value in teaching for free when you're just getting started, or at least in a little bit of a way. But our students don't see value in the things that we're putting out there that are constantly free or constantly at bottom dollar price. It's just not going to get them to commit to they're not going to see the value in the thing that you're putting out there. And ultimately, don't we want more people experiencing and building a daily practice that makes us feel better, that makes us show up a little bit more present, that makes us maybe bite our tongue when we want to lash out? Maybe it gives us a tiny bit of an opportunity, a bit of space between the stimulus and the reaction. Yeah, like that's what we want. That's why we show up to teach, right? We have an impact on our students' lives in this way. So there's an abundance of students, there's abundance of opportunities for you to teach, and I need for you to show up with an abundance mindset in order to be paid for what you do. In order to not just be paid, but be paid fairly. So there's a saying, and I've said it before, I wish I could remember where I heard it. And if you know, send me a DM on Instagram because I would love to know. But there's a saying that says, the yoga is free, but the electricity is not. And you can take that with you. I take it with me too, is your energy is not free. It's just not, because in order to show up in a true and clear way where we don't feel frustrated or, like we're worried about making our ends meet and this whole starving artist mentality, like in order for us to show up in the most true and clear way so our students can have this transformation, you got to get paid. Okay. So that was a little bit of tough love today in our abundance mindset. So just remember, there are plenty of people out there for you. There are plenty of opportunities. You have to uncover them. You have to put your light out there so people can see you. You have to remember that you only need a sliver of those 7.7 billion people. And those tiny sliver of people can pay you so you can continue to show up, so you can continue to have this gift of providing a transformation for your students. So that was what's on my heart today, how us as teachers can continue to cultivate this abundance mindset so we can show up in a truer, and this isn't it, I'm not going to edit this. I will show up right here in a true and clear way. So we as teachers can show up in a true and clear way, in a resourced, energetic way. All right. So I hope that resonated with you today. If you're feeling stuck, you're like, man, Jess, I just don't feel confident enough to charge what I should be charging or charging at all, send me a DM. It's at jessicacross.co on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. This is, if you haven't been able to tell, something I'm very passionate about. So I would love to get you to a place with some mindset shifts so you can start making a living and stop feeling burnt out. So I'm here for you. Thank you so much for listening. It's such a pleasure to show up here in this way with Marketing Off the Mat, and I hope that it's serving you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thanks for listening to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. I love hanging with you as we figure this thing out together. Do you have an idea or something to share with me? Send me a DM on Instagram at jessicacross.co and let me know what's on your mind. I'd be so grateful if you shared this with someone who could use this episode. And if you get a chance, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch you on the next episode. See ya.